happy Monday too. I am the sound of money in your ear, dollar Avant. That's still double O. I'm often imitated, never duplicated. They call me the $1 billion babe, aka the pitch queen, aka the people's coach, aka Coach Dollar Bill. And you are in the dollhouse. This is the home of high value entrepreneurs. You guys, it is day number 26 of this 100-day challenge, and I'm going to be sharing more details, getting more involved, getting all in your business also, but making sure that you have what you need to be successful out here in these streets. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on, and you guys need to attune and align yourselves, okay, with the frequency. Let's call it that, the frequency of abundance, okay? We need to be tapped in. We need to make sure that nothing can shake us, nothing can stop us. We need to be all the way up at all times in terms of our frequency, and that's going to allow us to make money regardless of what is happening out here, because there's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. Like, I mean, can we just talk about it? Are we not supposed to talk about it? I know I'm streaming, so I don't get into the headlines over here. I have to do that in my private WhatsApp group and also in my Substack. But can we just say headlines are nuts? People are losing their minds. People are like, "Oh, it's the end of America." Well, I've just only been saying that for 3 years. I've only been saying it for 3 years. It's fine. It's fine. Everybody's here now. So guess what do we do? What do we do, dog? We need to get some money so we can get up out the way. We need to have enough money, enough cash flow so that we can be location independent. So that if you have to move suddenly, if you need to leave your town, if it no longer is safe for you to do and be where you've been all this time, or your job goes away because AI or whatever, we need to get some cash flow so we can purchase some assets, so we can leverage said assets, so we can move and be out the way. That's what needs to happen. If we want to talk about protecting our family, everybody want to talk about, fighting back and all this. You can't do none of that without some resources. We need some cash flow. And I want you to understand that money is frequency. Money is an energy. Money is a radio station that we're attuned to. It starts in your mind. You will never have more money than you feel safe in your nervous system, your frequency. You have to establish, I am the value. Okay, I don't know where it's coming from. It might not be from your job. It might not be. Maybe you were with that man for 30 years and then all of a sudden he got up and left you. Hey, it might not be. Maybe your first business did not work out. It might not be that. You were depending on something and it closed down. Somebody told you they're going to do something, they didn't do it for you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We are the value. Abundance is our birthright. We can be tapped in at all times, at all times. And so that's what we do in the dollhouse, is really just talk about, what does that mean? How do I align myself with the frequency of abundance so that I could be all right no matter what? Turn to your neighbor. Say, we're going to be all right. Okay, so it's day 26, and we talked a lot about what happens in the quantum realm on yesterday. Like I came with receipts a little bit on yesterday, just a little bit on yesterday, because I don't want nobody telling me I'm telling you my opinion. I'm not telling you something I read in a book. I'm not just like, this sounds really cool, so let's do a podcast about it. Like, ain't nobody got time for that. I got other stuff to do. Why would I get on here at 2 o'clock every day just to tell y'all something that sounds good? Like, I'm telling you how the universe actually works. I'm telling you how with my mind manifested $2 million. Somebody was investing in my company. I wasn't even trying to get an investment, child. I was trying to save the world's water. Do you know they say we're in water bankruptcy now? I don't even know what that means. Y'all Google that. Why is that a term that we're using on planet Earth right now? Water bankruptcy. Well, I invented the technology to save the world's water. Where did that come from? Where do ideas come from? How does somebody have an idea for an iPhone, for this right here? Did somebody invent the pencil? Is that a thing? Or some makeup or some, they got nails. You could get your nails and you could change the color of the nails with an app. I'm talking about literally, you get your nails done and then you can just hit the app and change the nail. I don't know how they're doing that. I don't know is that safe? I'm not sure what's going on there, but where do ideas come from? And then you can go out into the marketplace and now you're just making money. You're just like outside, just got money now. Like, so what's that process about? That's like, how do you go in the room with your person and then a year, 9 months later, there's a baby? Like, what's happening in the middle there? That's what we discussed here in the dollhouse. So we talked a lot about it yesterday. And you got to understand and be aware and actually believe, Get out of this mindset that they programmed into us. This is what capitalism has done to us. This is why I speak specifically to melanated people, because capitalism was not built for us. It was built on us. They programmed us to think that we have to go and do some thing and perform externally for somebody to see and hope that they're going to pay us a check after we do this thing, versus knowing you are the value. You get on the frequency of abundance, the same place that idea came from, just follow it all the way through. There's a process. You follow it all the way through. You get some flour, you get some egg, you put the thing, you go in this right order, you put it in the oven, 45 minutes, 350 degrees, you take it out. There's going to be a cake. Like, there's a process. There's a recipe. If we just follow the recipe, the roadmap that I teach you, the entrepreneur's roadmap, because the roadmap be mapping. If you just follow the process, you're going to make money every time. Every time. Every time. So we got to recognize the difference, like in your bank account, between something that's pending, like you went and swiped your card all weekend. It's Monday, so y'all might have been out and about. Ain't no snow, all of that. Ain't no ice. What happened to the storm? What happened to the storm? Want to talk about it? But anyway, but when you get there, if you go on your app right now, it says pending. It's not posted yet. Or you make a deposit, but you can't spend it yet. Why? Well, I put the money in there. Well, what is it doing? Things are happening. There's a difference between pending and posted. So when I'm telling you to switch your frequency now, there's going to be a window of time, just like when a caterpillar goes into a cocoon. There's going to be a window of time before that thing is posted, where anybody and everybody can see it, and we all know what's going on, and everybody, oh yeah, that's such and such, so, oh yeah, that's Nike, oh yeah, that's Amazon, da, da, da. Everybody knows the narrative, but it starts with you. So if you get the idea, you got the vision, make it plain, you do all of that. Oh, I got my vision board, you do all that. Okay, that's fine. I know exactly how I want it to be. You don't know how you want it to be. You don't know. You need to go talk to some humans and give them what they want to be. Don't get stuck in ego. This is how God gave it to me, and I had a calling on my life, and I'm not going to change no matter what. I'll be persistent. And 22 years later, if nobody responds to the idea, you need to, anyway, gotta let the thing cook. So you go through all that, you get the verbiage, and you're out here talking to humans. We went through this whole chart yesterday. And all of this has to happen. Your heart has to be aligned so that you feel worthy, so you can hold the energy long enough, increase your capacity long enough to actually do the work that's going to be required without freaking out every day or getting anxiety every day. Oh my God, I got to talk to people. Oh my God. No, you got to grow out of all of that. Then you're giving from a place where there's an actual impact, where you get an actual response. Like, the thing at, do they have the Six Flags like at fairs, where you take the big hammer and you hit and you try to make the ball go up to hit the bell at the top. If you don't hit it hard enough, guess what happens? Nothing. It's just like, bloop, bloop. We just got to go all the way up and then hit the bell, and then you get the giant bear or whatever. That's what this is like. So you're not just doing actions. Okay, well, I wrote a business plan. I mean, I went to a networking event. I printed up some business cards. Like, it's not enough. Come on, Kendrick. We got to put the inputs in at the level. The oven has to be at the temperature that is required to make the thing cook and go all the way through the process. And then it's real. Then people know about it. Then other people are talking about it while you sleep, and you wake up and there's some money in your account. Like, we got to go through the whole process. So aligning your thoughts and emotions and identity and coordinated daily activities and showing up and doing it intentionally and doing it again and having a plan for such. It sounds like a lot, but it's really not. It's about regulating your nervous system, being on the frequency of money. And what you do most frequently becomes your frequency. So if you are walking around worrying about money all day, that's the frequency you're on. And that's what you're creating. If you're walking around like you wake up and you're like, yes, okay, I know what I'm supposed to do. Da, 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 da. Or I got this really great book. Because a lot of times we don't know what to do. So if you found your way to the dollhouse, you already past 92% of people. Because I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. Somebody who's made millions of dollars with my mind. I'm telling you how to do it. You don't have to guess. You have to figure it out. You don't have to go through all that. Okay. But if you wake up in the morning, you're all excited. Okay, I know what to do. I wrote it down. Da, da, da. And then somebody comes in your ear. Somebody comes on your phone. How long it's been since you've been in business? You're the man the ninja I told you to leave him alone. You didn't do it. Here he come, because he want to borrow some money. But anyway. How long we been in business? I don't see no money yet. What are we doing? They start telling you how old you are like you don't know your age. At this big age, you should be doing something. If you can't figure this out, you need to go get you a job. They sending you like as if the job market is not imploding right now, as if it's not the end of America right now. They're talking to you all types of crazy, as if they've ever built anything from scratch before, but they got time to tell you, see what you need to do. I told you to go down there when such and such came to the little conference. You should have went up there and asked him. See, you scared to go to ask him, and that's what's wrong with you. You think you can do these things and you can't. You know what they're doing? They're projecting because they can't figure out how to do it. And so they want you to hurry up like you're an ATM machine. You're not an ATM machine. When I say we are the value, I don't mean you're an ATM machine that's supposed to be responsible for how other people feel. I need somebody to get free on today. I need you to get free because you got to break the emotional connection to that frequency of lack and poverty. And if I don't see it, it's not real. That's how they keep us trapped. That's how they're going to get you caught back up in the digital control grid that's being built around you right now. Somebody, I got to do a whole thing on TikTok and what's going on. Like, I don't know if I'm jumping off the platform or not because I'm kind of a revolutionary. So I might, I don't know, take one for the team. I'm not sure. But if y'all understood what's going on out here, just raise your hand in the chat if you saw the girl did a little jingle on Dr. Pepper on TikTok and now she blowing up. Has anybody seen that? I'm gonna tell you why they're doing that. And it's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. But I got to do a whole separate episode on that. So you can't be concerned when people don't understand what you're doing. You can't be concerned when you're in the cocoon and you're in the oven, you know, your idea is cooking in the oven and things are happening in the unseen realm and they're pending. Understand that it's on the way. How do you know? Because this is how the system works. Well, how can you prove it? Just keep doing it and see. You're gonna see. So we focused on the inner game, the identity shift in the quantum field yesterday. Today, and if you're streaming, I know I'm yelling, but just put your stuff in the chat and I'll see it. But this is what we need right now. I mean, it's DEFCON 1 out here. Somebody needs to do this work, so I'm gonna do it. But we focus on the inner game, the identity shift, the quantum field. So today I wanted to talk about, I keep saying this for 2 days straight. Today we're going to get to the conversion mechanisms, how to actually move things from pending to posted. And the tools that we use, the 5-star pitch, the way we talk about our work, the words, which are containers for energy, then capturing those words, using them and talking to humans and getting feedback. So we tweak it so it sounds just like what people want to hear. They see themselves reflected in what we are talking about. Then we're going to turn it into an automated system that does that on autopilot. This is a machine. That's why they call it or an engine. That's why they call it a startup. This becomes your economic engine. And that is a machine that keeps giving you money and making sales for you over and over and over. So taking somebody from being, I'm interested, I hear what you're saying, that sounds cool, to here, take my payment information and put me on membership so you can have that money every month. I need this all the time. I need this in my life. How do you take somebody from the first thing to paying you? So there are several systems that do that. We need that email sequence. Well, we need the 5-star pitch, obviously, and the Afro method. That's one. The email sequence. The how do you talk to somebody online, convert somebody from an online experience and talk to them as if you're talking to them one-on-one. A ladder of offers, like that price ladder I keep telling everybody about, so that you can kind of monetize anywhere somebody is along the journey. And then your overall sales process, like how to actually close deals and do it in a way that's not salesy, to do it with integrity, but to do it intentionally, to the point where one day you can actually train somebody else how to come into your business and make those sales on your behalf. So you can go sit on the island somewhere. And these are not tactics. These are not little things that you watch on Instagram one good time and then, okay, I got it. Like, no, these are systems or levers or parts of the engine. You know how in your car, if something breaks down in your car, they want to tell you all this other stuff. I mean, it could be, you know, any number of things, right? Because there's all these different mechanisms in there. These are the mechanisms that make a business work. Why nobody breaks it down in this way, I'm not certain, but I'm putting it all together for you. So if you never hear me talk again, you will know, okay, and you could take out a piece of paper, draw on the back of a napkin, and map out, okay, I got this part going, and diagnose what's wrong with your own business and fix it and make money every day, every day. So this is how we go from something being pending to being posted and real and active in your business, bringing you money. It's important, by the way, to do this, because if we just talk all this quantum stuff, people get excited and they get all inspired and they're like, oh my God, I could do anything. Like, okay, that's cool. But then if you don't bring it over here to this side where you're actually experiencing it, it's incomplete. So you can meditate, visualize, and spin around the backyard. Y'all know I say this all the time. And the cinnamon and the bay leaves and the sea salt. Do all of that. Okay. You praying and you take the Bible, put it on your pillow. I don't know what people be doing. Do all of that. You got the anointing oil, throwing it out, whatever that is. Align your energy. You can pray, do the inner work. But if somebody lands on your page and it's not clear what they're supposed to do, there's no clear path to working with you, they don't know what's going on here, and they bounce off of your page, that energy has come and gone. So they might have heard something you said, they might have seen you speak somewhere, they might know, I need to go this way. They might be trying to follow spirit. But if they get over there and they're confused, they don't know how to de-risk this and feel like they want to feel so they can go ahead and give you this money and make this transaction happen, they won't do it. So the quantum field creates the opportunity, but we got to put the rest of the pieces in place. So remember when I defined the word broke, I'm not here to offend anybody. I'm literally telling you how to read energy and how to change your frequency. So I was going to do a little series, a web series. I might still do it. And it's called The Broken the Brilliant, because I see far too many absolutely brilliant people. I'm talking about, you have a gift. You're a creative. You're an artist. You're a genius, most of y'all. And you got something and all of that. But we live below the required opportunity, knowledge, and execution to attain this life that we want for ourselves. Maybe we used to have it. We used to work in corporate, or, we used to have it in a previous life, or, whatever. Or we refused to work, on the plantation. And so we always just been bouncing from thing to thing, whatever that is. But we know we're brilliant, yet we live below the required opportunity, knowledge, and execution. So if you align yourself and play this inner game that I keep talking about, that now creates the opportunity. Things are now moving in the energetic field. Boom. But if you don't get the knowledge, the skill of these systems that I'm talking about, and then execute and implement them, you're still going to be living below what you're really worth. So I want to teach you how to make sure that your bank account balance matches your brilliance. Okay. If you plant a seed, you water it, you might even tend the soil, you're kind of creating conditions for growth. But if you don't protect that seed, and you got deer walking around and all type of birds and stuff, they're going to eat your crops before you get to the harvest. So we need to actually build systems that protect, that capture this energy that people are feeling naturally and that value, so that you can get a harvest and get it consistently over and over and over again. Bring it back into the realm of time and space where we can see it and touch it and make plans and pay bills according to this thing. Okay. So we went through all the 7 C's of social capital. We went through how that relates to the chakras. When you get the idea, you see the vision, start speaking it, settle all the heart issues. You start doing the work, the big 5. If you're not doing the big 5 every day, that's really important. I'm going to add an addendum and make sure that that's in the book that's coming out, The 7 Habits of High Value Entrepreneurs. Make sure it's explained the way that I explained it during this 100-day challenge, because that's like fundamental. This is when people wake up every day and they say, I feel overwhelmed in my business. I don't know what to do every day. I answer that question. This is what you do every day. And that's like a big shift for a lot of people. So that's why I'm making sure that's included in the book, and also like a takeaway chapter that people could just read, even if they don't get the book. But then you're giving value, receiving feedback and all of that, to the point where You have capital. It's a part of your identity. This is how I show up now. And that's where money starts to flow consistently. So we've been working on getting your quantum field right, all the internal stuff. We've been doing that part. And now I want to get into how to make sure that we capture this energy that you should start to see as you're talking to people and move it over here to a system that shows up in your bank account. So we need these mechanisms, right? We talked extensively about the 5-star pitch and the Afro method. If you don't have that, you need some things. You need to, get in the Dollhouse 2.0, look for a link somewhere. I don't know. Go to the WhatsApp group, like bettercalldoll.com. Like, let's figure it out. We got to have a 5-star pitch um, that's nailing kind of our worldview. It makes people feel, collapses that gap so people immediately see the world the way we do and we're in the same location. Okay, boom. That's the first thing. And the Afro method, how to then find out what they're looking for and thinking about and tweaking our pitch to match that and our offer to match that. Okay, that creates the opportunity. Now we need to create this email sequence. So hopefully over the conversations that you had, you need to be talking to 50 humans, you need to be telling them what you do, getting a lot of feedback, and start to hear, the problem language that people use, or hear, let's say there's 10 steps to solving this problem, or like there are 9 steps on the entrepreneur's roadmap. But 99.99999% of people, they think the problem is their CRM, or they think the problem is they need to run Facebook ads, or they think, it's whatever. But actually, their 5-star pitches are. They don't have that. So I back all the way up and offer you something where you can come in for cheap or free. In this case, I'm talking about a lead magnet that's literally free. Give them something that's going to solve the very first problem that they would face on this journey of the 9, steps or whatever to the transformation that you provide, and make it easily available. And it's like, all you got to do is give me your email address. So it's like the Chinese people in the mall giving you the free taste test in exchange for your email, though. Right? So whether they hear you, because they probably would hear you or see you on social media and you don't have any access to their information. So what you want to do is start to bring them towards you. That's why they call it a magnet. You want to say, hey, take another step with me. And it's not just get on a discovery call. Like, what if I don't want to? What if I don't know you? What if I don't feel like I'm ready to get on a conversation with you yet? You got to have all these breadcrumbs along the way. So what is the one thing? And people do the PDFs and whatever. Nobody's reading that. It depends on your audience. Somebody would, my audience would, but it depends on your audience. It depends on what you're offering. It depends on how much value it needs to actually, for real, be valuable. And it's like, let me give you this amazing, amazing experience, value, taste test, whatever, in exchange for your email address. Okay. Once somebody does that, so you got to figure out what that is if you're taking notes. But then once somebody does that, now they're in your kind of on your front porch a little bit. They're kind of hanging out a little bit, but they're not ready to come inside. I don't know you like that. I was just walking down the street, minding my business, and you said, come on up here, we're hanging out. And I came to the front porch, and here I am. So you got to nurture them. Take them through this process we've been talking about for the last few days. The same way that you can use your social media to move people through this pathway from recognizing and knowing who you are to resonating with you, feeling seen, heard, understood, feeling like you understand them and what they got going on. And then you say, you're not alone, but I also have a solution. And they start to believe that you might actually know what you're talking about. And then they get to the point where they're thinking about, possibly, doing some sales and stuff like that with you. So we got to nurture them. They got to be going up, and if you will, you can't just assume that they're ready to jump to the next step, because that's not how money works until your narrative has outpaced you and people kind of know you before you even got there. And then you see it happen, collapse, and happen faster. We got a question in the chat. It says, is it better to obtain the email addresses or their cell phone number? Great question. It depends on what you're offering them. Depends on what you're offering them. So we want to design experiences, and it depends on your audience. So we want to design experiences that meet people where they are and make people feel like they want to feel. So if I were to, which I have been doing actually for 2 years now, bring people into a WhatsApp group is what I started out doing. I'm not doing that anymore, but I'm using that example. When I invite people into a WhatsApp group, they're scanning a QR code and they're coming into a WhatsApp. By so doing, I'm getting their phone number essentially. So what I could have done from that place is use like things like community or mini chat where you could send a text message out to your group. Hey guys, we're outside. If let's say I was doing gym and jewels and bars and I was popping up at different places around the city like I used to. Hey guys, I'm over here such and such. I'll be there at 7 tonight. Pull up. I think that would actually work. Maybe I'll do that. Write that down. You know what I mean? Or if you have a group that's like Cheryl's group where she's activating people to mobilize when there's needs around the city, and she's like, "Hey, guys, we're going to be at such and such on Saturday." Da, 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 da. Like, think about how people use text, and then think about your audience specifically. Because I have there's a group that I'm in. He sends a text when he goes live. Just like so, let's just like I go in WhatsApp and I'm like, "Hey, y'all, I'm gonna be live." He'll send a text out, and so he might not have everybody's email address, but he's still reaching 44 million phones or whatever it is, how many people he has on his list, and so that can work. But also, if you know that your group will read, if you know that you have longer form content that you want to share, if you know that you have things that would be more traditionally handled by email. I think a lot of people can do a lot with text that haven't done so because people are used to that now, but it just depends on your audience. So ideally get both. To answer the question, that was a very long answer. But once let's say you're getting email addresses, because you can do the same thing via a text sequence. I guess I could point that out. You can do the same thing in a text sequence, but again, only if it's not going to annoy your audience. Like if they're going to get annoyed that their phone is pinging all the time, you want to move them over to an email list. Because I know some people in the WhatsApp, they love the group, but they don't like the notifications that come with it on their phone while they at the house or whatever. So moving everybody over to email allows me to still get the information to them, but they can choose when they get the notification and when they read it, if that makes sense. So we want to nurture people. If you're setting up an email sequence, that kind of does it for you automatically while you sleep. You don't have to worry about it. So if somebody stumbles upon something, they see something you got on social, they like a link or video that you posted or whatever, and then they're like, okay, let's see what we got going on. They go to the description or to the caption of your video, and you're sending them somewhere they want access to something that you have in exchange for their email. After that happens, let's say I'm offering the chapter of my book that explains the big 5, the 5 things you should do every day. If you got 5 on it on your business, you're going to make some money. What are those 5 things? Every entrepreneur needs, everybody, and nobody's doing it. Because I did it, I made $2 million with my mind. I teach thousands of people how to do it. You want to know what the big 5 are? Put your email right here. I'm going to send it to you. Boom. So the first thing that needs to happen is that automatic, immediate. This is the reason why, if you don't have an email autoresponder and you're really serious about building community in this way, you might want to consider having one. Because immediately when they fill out the form and do the thing, which can be free, y'all. These are Google Forms. This is you could do it on Notion. Like, they're all different tools. You don't have to actually spend any money to do this. So I don't want anybody to have, barriers or excuses why they can't do it. Immediately after filling it out, let's say you have a Substack. Immediately after filling it out, they get a welcome email. And on there, it should say, here's the thing that they asked for. Whatever that is that you promised them. Boom. Hey, thank you so much for grabbing whatever or doing the action I asked you to take. Here's the thing I promised you. And then I'm such and such. I help certain people go from this to that, right back to the 5-star pitch. So we're reinforcing who we are. What is this? And I created this thing that I just gave you because I wish somebody had helped me when, wherever they are right now. So you're connecting with their emotional problem language. Over the next, let's say, couple of weeks, probably like 15 days, 12 days, 15 days, you're going to send a series of 7 emails, y'all. So you say, over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to share some insights that I don't usually post publicly. This is for my groups, for my people, just to give you a welcome. Thank you for being here. you know, you can unsubscribe at any time, but if you're ready for this outcome, this transformation, hang out. I got some stuff for you. It's going to be amazing. And then boop, that's it. So they got the free thing that you said you were going to do. And it should be immediate value. It should be like, watch this 2-hour interview with my billionaire mentor who told me all his business right before he retired and left the country. Only if you put your email right here. You know what I'm saying? Or like I said, the 5 things that are going to change it all for your business. Instead of you waking up feeling like, I don't know what to do, I'm overwhelmed. Oh my God, I don't know what to do every day. Now you're going to know exactly what to do every day and implement it. This is a $2 million system. Here you go. So they're going to immediately get value when they click on it and do the thing, right? It can be a video. It could be a series of videos. It could be a 5-day like email mini course. So like every day for the next 5 days, I'm just going to email you some value. So you could do that, which works very well, mind you, because you have a cliffhanger off of each email. You send them an email a day for 5 days. It's on the autoresponder, so you don't have to do anything. ConvertKit. I use Beehive for this. There's all these ones, obviously, MailChimp, all these ones. So you can use whichever one you want to use. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't overthink it. But after they give you their email, something immediate should happen where they get the free thing that you said you were going to give them. So even before you get the email sequence set up, you could use Gumroad or, like I said, Google Forms or something where after they hit submit, it goes to a page where they could download the thing you promised them. Like, we all need to build that tonight if you don't have that in your business. Because even if you're texting them, it's like, hey, blah, 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 go get this resource. Just, it's going to take them to a landing page, and we still want to get their email. So, because they might change phone numbers, you know what I'm saying? So you just want to have at least the email and possibly both. So that's your first email. Questions about that? Welcome, give them some immediate value, immediate. A webinar sign up serves the same purpose. But I'm saying let's take it a step further than just put in your email to get access to this thing. So that's what the rest of the sequence is about. So the second email, you would tell your story. Like, I almost didn't start this business. I almost quit. Let me tell you what happened. So the same hooks that we keep talking about, you could do that in email form. Somebody's leaning in, you got a storytelling format, which human nature is designed to listen to stories. But real quick, straight to the point, right? So 2 years ago, I was exactly where you are right now. Or one of my clients told me this, I'm sure you can relate to this, working overtime, doing this and doing that, trying to raise a family for, don't know how they're going to make it, bills piling up, it's hard out here, wonder why did I quit my job, now what I'm going to do, da-da-da-da. I tried everything, updated the resume, tried this, tried that, like whatever problem you're solving, right? You're just going all the way into the emotional language, telling a story. It's ISDR, right? But then something happened. It wasn't overnight, it wasn't magic. It was whatever your process is or whatever your tool is. Now, because of that, either me or the client that you're talking about, the story you're telling, is now, winning results. So identity, I can identify with you, story and struggle. It's hard out here. Decision or discovery. Once I decided to do this way, or I discovered this process, everything got different. Now, results. That's it. ISDR. In email form. This is like 7 sentences, y'all. It's not that long. But I remember what it was like. I know there's so many other people out here having that same struggle. That's why I gave you the thing I gave you the other day. So this should be like 2 days later or 3 days later, they're getting this email. Right? I gave you that thing because I wish somebody had shown me, told me, whatever. And, when I was struggling, like I know you are right now. So check it out. Did you read it? Did you watch it? Let me know your feedback. And tomorrow I'm going to give you something else free value or the next email. Stay tuned. That's it. So again, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sentences. That's it. 1 line per sentence. You just told your story. So do you see what we're doing? We're stretching out the 5-star pitch into an email sequence. The 5-star pitch is everything. It's everything. But this is how you basically just taught them your core methodology, your unique approach, or took them on a journey of somebody using your unique approach. And that is going to give them an experience or a taste test of what it is that you have to offer. Now, hold on 1 second. My phone keeps doing something, so give me a second. All right. The next email after that is gonna be your say they got the free thing on day 1. Let's say you sent the next email day 3. Maybe this is day 4 or 5. Now you're gonna talk more in depth about your framework. And this is where you're gonna talk about your core methodology, your unique approach. You basically are saying, after years of doing this, or years of helping clients struggle with this, here's what I figured out. Most people think this. Most people think you have to do this to get this outcome. And that's why they're stuck. But actually, then you put your process in there. This is why I invented, the way I do it this way. Phase 1, this is what we do. Phase 2, this is what happens. And the benefit. And then phase 3, after that, step 3, and then we get this benefit. And that's what I do with every client. You wouldn't believe it. Nobody expects this, but this is what I do all day, every day. And it's just what I was talking about when I gave you whatever the free thing is that you gave them. And you have to define what that is, right? But it's like, if you haven't used that, if you haven't watched it, go ahead and check it out. But listen, you're going to see a shift immediately. Like, we do this already all day. It could be you inviting them. My free thing right now, I have a new one coming, but the one I've used for years is just inviting them to come and hear me talk crazy in the dollhouse, basically. Would you like to be in my WhatsApp group where I just talk about what nobody else wants to talk about? I'm holding the conversation that nobody else want to have. Check it out. And they'll be like, yes, please. It could be you have a private thing that you do with people that are only in your group, and you just invite them to come and participate in that. That's still enough to get their email address, right? But once they're in there, you're having this conversation via email. Why via email? Because that means you don't have to sit there and have a discovery call with every single person that's walking by your front porch. They're just walking down the street. They can, ooh, this is cool. And now they're in an automated process. Let the technology do that heavy lifting for you, so you could be focused on other parts of your business. Once you set this up one good time, it's set. You don't have to do nothing else. If they're not ready to buy nothing, you don't have to spend no time. And if they are, at the bottom of some of these emails, you just want to have a PS, if you want me to do this for you or do this with you, and then they could take another step, right? Or if you got a little $27 thing or something they could buy to do it, again, without you, to read more. That was the first chapter of my book. If you want the whole book, here's the link. That would be in the bottom of your lead magnet, right? So it takes the work off of you. You don't have to talk to every single person and have a discovery call with every single person and walk every single person all the way through every single step of your business. Let the email do that work for you. Because once you get this built in an email sequence, you can do it in different formats. But I'm saying email. So now by the third email, they're like, okay, this process makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. The next email they get, maybe two or 3 days later, is another story time, testimonials. This is like case studies. This is like how people can understand how you've done this for other people. So how Google had me teach the 5-star pitch for Google for startups. Okay, then you could tell the story. So it's like, here's Google. You would think the biggest technology company in the world knows how to teach their founders to do pitches, but it turns out they were really struggling. They would come into meetings, they would do all this work, they would network, then they would get the meeting with the executives. They'd come in front of Google executives, and then deer in headlights, and it was horrible, and they couldn't communicate their idea, and they were talking all this technical stuff, and it's just like, what? And so they weren't closing any deals, even though they were in the getting the meetings. And so then they discovered Avant. And they kept hearing about the pitch queen. What is going on out here? So they went and said, let's see what she's got going. They heard me do the pitch thing. And they were like, no, you come here and teach our people. After I taught them the 5-star pitch, everybody was outside. They started closing deals, raising, getting investors, getting big corporate sales, and da 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 da. So, you know what I mean? And then you invite them. So I love to help you too. I mean, the system, you can implement it. So tomorrow I'm going to show you how you can work with me if that's what something you want to do. But either way, I already gave you enough tools to get started on your own. And I'm just so glad you're in my community. Da da da. That's it. That's the email. That's done. Like this is simple. We can all do this. And it's a simple way to let somebody walk themselves into your group. Anywhere in this process, they could hit reply, they could hit the thing, they could go on your website and be like, I want more from this person. Da, 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 da. But that's now automated as opposed to you trying to chase somebody down and then you're starting over every time you have a conversation with them instead of taking them on a journey like this. Okay. So the next email, depending on what you're selling and how much of an obstacle there is between you and the sale, or how high of a price point it is, right? Email number 5, let's say this is 2 or 3 days after that last email. You can actually address any objections that might be in their head. There are only 7 emails, by the way, and that's max, because you could do this in 5 emails. So you might address the real reason why they're stuck. So let's say I'm like, all you gotta do is get your 5-star pitch. Come on in. I actually have giving you what you need to do that for free. So I hope you read it by now. But you actually need a 5-star reboot of your whole business. And I have a process for that to help you fix your website, fix your pitch, and fix your your list of who you're reaching out to. You fill up your sales pipeline and close more deals, and do it in a way that's, once you do it, you set it, forget it, and your whole business just got elevated to another frequency, another level when you go through the 5-star reboot. And you get a customized prescription from me. If I was running your business, this is what I would do. That by itself is worth tens of thousands of dollars. I got you. So that's what you really need. But let's say they think in their head, they're like, okay, yeah, I mean, that sounds good. But she could, that I've heard people say this, she could do that, with her business. I know her pitch was amazing, but I mean, she's a public speaker and whatever. And, it's water. I mean, she's solving water. Of course, people responded to her. Like, I don't have that. So that's what they're thinking in their head. So this email is designed to address whatever they're thinking. It's like the real reason you're stuck. It's not what you think. Okay. So we want to address that objection directly. So people say, yeah, okay, I know that the pitch works for you, but I don't think it'll work for me. I don't think it's going to shift anything for me. But here's what's really going on. You don't understand how the process of going from an idea to having an asset that's paying you money actually works. It doesn't work because some people are better, some people have more skills, some people have more talent than others. It works because you shift your identity when you do this process. You actually become the version of yourself that has this business that you keep thinking about. Da, 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 da. So this can be an email, right? So your issue is not, you're not big enough, you're not smart enough, you don't have a big enough idea. You can be selling widgets. The rich dad, poor dad man became rich by selling Velcro wallets. This is not life-changing, earth-shattering technology. It don't take all of that. You have to show up and give people something that makes them feel like they want to feel in the moment, to the point where they want to pay you because it's like, oh, this is cool. Oh, I've never seen anything like this. Or, oh, I love it. I love the way this thing. There, I saw on, I think, was that on YouTube, TikTok? I think she did it on TikTok and then she put it on YouTube. This lady had, this is the dumbest thing ever. And I want 5 of them. It's like the old school cigarette cases. I don't smoke. I've never smoked in my life. Other than, they try to pass you some puff pass in the studio. I don't even know how to light the thing. I literally can't use a lighter. And it's the old school cigarette thing. And you open it up, you take it out, and you do the thing, and it's bubbles. I want 12. I just want that at all times. I want to make videos with it. I just want it. There's no reason for that. It's just a feeling. If you make people feel like they want to feel, they will look and try to pay you money. Period. So I'm speaking to the fact that in this email sequence, you can address whatever objection they have in their head. You're like, you think it's this is this, but actually, and this is where you show your thought leadership. So I would be saying, you don't need, fancy technology. You don't need a big team. You don't need a big marketing agency. You don't need, all this and that. All you need to do is shift your identity. And what I'm giving you in the 5-star pitch and the 5-star reboot system, by design, if you take these steps, it's going to not only give you a framework that looks professional and that people can understand your value when they see your stuff and read your, come on your page and hear you speak, but it's going to shift your energy because, you don't get what you want. You get who you are. So it doesn't matter what you tried before. You didn't shift your energy before. This is going to do just that. So when you're ready, I'm going to show you exactly how you can lean in. This is not tactics. This is not hype. This is a system that's going to work every single time if you work it. Okay? Deal. Okay, next email tomorrow. Next time I'm going to tell you da-da-da. And you get out. So this is still like 8 sentences. I hear this all the time. Here's whatever excuse and how they feel. Then you say, here's what's really going on. You do ... You can ... But the problem is what ... I get it. I've tried it. My clients tried it. Didn't work. But here's the truth. You break it down. The reason why is that you had random things. You didn't have a structure. You didn't have a plan. But now, with my system, you eliminate all of that. So it's going to work if you work it. So stick with me. You and me. Okay, boom. That's the email. So you're removing any mental barrier. You're checking the box of logic. You're reframing the objection. You're doing all the things. And you're making them feel like they want to feel. They feel seen, heard, understood, cared for, valued. It's happening. It's working. Okay? Next email. This is where you actually invite them to do something. It's like, okay, I've been giving you all this value all week long, the last couple of weeks. I have shared my story, how I went from having an idea in my head to, making, to creating a business that was valued at 8 figures by the largest private equity firm in the world. Using this one tool, the 5-star pitch. I've given you my framework, how it fits into the larger 9-step entrepreneur's roadmap, and how this one thing is going to shift your entire business and be the baseline for the business that you actually are making, where you're making $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 a month, because that's totally possible. I've given you proof. I told you other clients who've done the same thing. They went from like barely making any money to, selling their business to Google or whatever. And then I told you the truth about the things that you thought were true and not really true about business. You don't need a better ... You need a better 5-star pitch. So now I just want to invite you to come on and work with me, because this is what I'm doing. Then you give a very brief description of your offer and what you got going on. And you say, who is for? This is who is for. If you're making less than $10,000 a month, but you're capable of more. You're overwhelmed. You're tired of getting bad advice. You're tired of running the meatballs and alcohol. You want to do something different, but you don't know what to do. You tried other coaches, all that. Okay. And you're ready to do the inner work and the outer work. Who's not for? If you just want to keep playing, you're looking for the next celebrity, you're looking for all of that, this ain't your group. It's not for you. Can't help you. You think money's outside of you. You want to get a grant, check, the pitch competition. I'm not here for that. Okay. Here's what you get if you work with me. 1, 2, 3. Same 1, 2, 3. This is the price. We only got so many slots because I do, hands-on, whatever. I'm going to get you right. It's open right now. If you're not ready, it's okay, because you're already on my list. You're already in the community. It's fine. But if you're going to do something, let's go. Or if they need a call, get on the calendar. Let's talk about it, because I think this might be a good fit for you. Let's talk about it. But either way, I got you. When the time is right, you'll know. And then I'm out. That's it. And then the last email, I think that's it. I really will call it 6 and not even 7. You don't even have to do the last one. If you had an open enrollment for like a program, like in the next 2-3 weeks, you could send one more email like a few days later, 4 or 5 days later. We're getting ready to close out. Just wanted to make sure you knew we got 2 spaces left. If you're into it, let's do it. If not, you good. And see you on the other side. The end. So you brought them all the way in. They know you. They know who you are. They know your process. They know what you got going on. All of that in email form. So you never had to do a whole bunch of calling and chasing them down and trying to jump and go to lunch because you have a limited amount of time. But your email can do all that heavy lifting for you. Now, I'm going to stop and see if there are any questions or comments about this because I know that that's a lot. Hey, y'all. Hey, good to see you on the stream. On the stream. It says, look, if you 513 Love Style, like I know who that is. What's up, though? I'm glad that y'all are here. What up, though? Pause and see if there are any questions about creating email sequences. Do I need an email sequence? Does it work for me? Will it work for my industry? Questions like that. If you got it, let me know.
A question. Did you put something in the chat because I missed.
No, I haven't.
I fell
Not
off.
Yet.
Okay, good.
I saw you got bumped off. No problem.
Yeah. So my question is, does this work with DMs?
Oh, I'm just about to go into how to do a DM chain. That's next. So it's the same energy, but a slightly different format if you're doing DMs. Yes.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm going through all this detail is because not everybody, just like not everybody's going to respond on text. I actually am on a lot of these text ones, and for whatever reason, like I was interested, I read the thing or I watched the video, however I got there, but then they text me and I'm like, I feel weird. I was like, I don't really know you like that. They'd be like, hey, dog. And I look like it's somebody I know, and it's not. It's like the guy from the thing. I personally don't like that. So I would never convert from text other than the one where he tells me, hey, I'm going live. I like that.
I like that too.
Right. But some people are not going to read their email. They're going to be like, what is this? And they never read any of this. Right. So, but they might be on Instagram and they're like, oh, I like this. And they say, DM me or put the word whatever in the comment if you're interested. And then they do. And then you can set up this automated thing that sends them a DM. You can convert people and bring them into your world from DM. So how does that work? Because some people are not going to convert from the email or the text messages or whatever. Some people are more like relationship buyers, like they need a personal conversation before they trust somebody enough to buy. We should be off by 3:30 today. But I don't literally mean that y'all need to pick up the phone and talk to everybody, because no, they just want to feel like they know the person. Okay. So we got a 3-step process for how we're going to do DMs. Number one, finding a way to identify warm leads. And a lot of you have seen this on social. Some people have gotten really, really good at this. Really, really good at this. So if you make a piece of content that makes somebody feel like, oh, like, yes, like whatever that is, however they need to feel in that piece of content. And then you tell them at the end, these, shorts or reels or TikTok like that, right? And you tell them at the end, by the way, I have a document or, a guide or an ebook or something, that takes you through this whole process. So if you're interested, put whatever word in the comments like that. And then they put the word in there. That means they're interested. They're raising their hand. They're like, yeah, let me know more about that. Let me holler at you for a second. So as opposed to you saying, go to link in bio or click, go to my whatever, go to my website, they could just put the word right there and stay on the platform, which the algorithm likes this. Plus, if they comment, that's, again, feeding the algorithm. So fine. So if they put the word in the chat, now I don't have it written out, but you can Google it. There's a very easy way to make all of those platforms automatically do something when they put the word in the comments. And you guys know what I'm talking about. But if they put the word in the comments and they're saying they want more information, then all you gotta do is send them a direct message with still the link to the free value, but you can also kind of open up that conversation a little bit more because they just told you that they're interested. So people who engage and are willing to put a comment, they want to download this free thing that you're giving them, or just people who have consistently been watching your stories, following you, or commenting on your stuff. They're already leaning in with you. Okay. So if they download something or let's say they don't download, but you see they keep engaging your stuff. You don't want to send them a DM and be like, hey, I see that you're always in the comments. Want to talk? Want to chat? Want to do a discovery call? Like, whoa. The brain has a part of the brain is going to be like, they're trying to sell me something, put their guard up. But you can have a conversation like, hey, I noticed you've been engaging with my comment on whatever topic. I really appreciate that. I went on your page. I saw you have or whatever. I see that you're in this field, whatever. Just curious. What are you working on right now? What's the biggest challenge? whatever. Like you can open up kind of an open-ended conversation in a DM. Not pitching anything, noticing them, see that you are genuinely interested, and trying to open up a dialogue of some kind. If they actually respond, so this is great for LinkedIn, particularly, right? Because again, if you just get a piece of content that makes people raise their hand, that's sufficient. Because now, boom, they're going to get the free thing, and boom, they're back in the email sequence. Beautiful. But in addition, now, if they're in the email sequence, but they don't like email, now what? But you know them now because they raise their hand on Instagram, they raise their hand on LinkedIn or whatever. So you can go back on that platform and send them a DM. Hey, I noticed you downloaded the thing. That's amazing. I see you got this and that going on. We got, a couple people in common, like whatever. Your opinion actually matters to me. What do you think about blah, blah, blah? Open ended. If they respond, or like, what are you working on? Or what's your struggle with this particular area? If they respond, now you listen. And if that problem matches something that you're working on, then you're like, that totally makes sense. I actually help people going through that same thing. Would you want to jump on a call or whatever? Like you can bring them into your process that way and go straight to the Afro method and try to get a 10-15 minute call with them. But it's no pressure either way, but they still feel like you know them. They still feel like you're leaning in, and now they feel a personal connection with you because you sent them a personal message. Thanks so much for grabbing the free thing. Like that. If they're like, yes, absolutely, you can set up a call. If they're like, nope, I'm good, or don't respond at all, it's like, or they say something that's not what you do. They're asking you to write a business plan, and I don't do that. They'd be like, oh, yeah, no, that's not what I focus on. But here's what I recommend. Give them some value and some advice or even a referral. And then you're still building trust. They'll be able to refer somebody to you later. They'll remember you when they do have a problem that you solve. They are probably going to be more likely to open your email now than they were before. Okay. So 80% of these DM conversations are not going to really lead to immediate sales, and that's fine. But you're trying to, your goal is to build relationships, stay top of mind, and bring some of those people from the digital realm into your real life conversations. Out of 10, let's say DM calls like that, you might be able to get 3 or 4 or even 5 people to jump on a call with you for 15 minutes. Out of that, maybe you make 1 or 2 sales, but it's really about the Afro method. It's really about getting those 50 people in your warm circle of trust so that you always have a real person that you can send a real message to and get an actual response. Because you need to be doing that every day. That's part of your big 5, right? So it sounds like a lot, but you could actually do this DM part of the strategy in about 20 minutes every day. And that should lead you. So people, again, who are engaging, they're commenting on your posts, they always watch your stories, like whatever that is, you can reach out to them and be like, what up though? Especially if they're, raising their hand or downloading a guide or something like that. And then you go back and find them on social platforms and send them a quick message. Thank you so much, whatever. Or they come to your event, they come to your webinar, and you're like, hey, by the way, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Because some people are going to be like, I'm with this. And then the next time they see your video, they're going to click the link in bio, go to the page and buy the thing. Like it just happens that way. Some people like it this way. They like to feel like they know you, and that's fine. The third mechanism we want to set up, there's only one more after this because Afro method and the 5-star pitch is the first one. So today we're doing 4. So the third one is the offer ladder, like that price ladder that I keep trying to draw on the little whiteboard on Zoom, and it looks janky because it's hard to draw on this thing on your mouse. Your offer ladder gives people options. This is what I think is so important. A lot of people have something that costs like $500, like $27,000 or whatever, and they just want to like meet you now on LinkedIn, and then like, okay, so you ready to buy something? And it's like, no. What do you? No, I just met you right now. No, I don't want to buy anything that costs a car. I mean, no. So, by the way, y'all know that's why people, Mercedes, spend so much money on like naming the actual stadium after them, and the American Express halftime show, and all the branded things that they do, and the constant commercials. The reason they do that, and the name on the jersey and all of that. It's like, why would you pay for this? Because you feel like you know them. So that when it's time to buy a car, they're already top of mind. That's the only reason they do that. It's the same process that I'm teaching you now. That's what these people are doing. Go ahead, Tracy.
Oh, I was actually just putting hearts. My phone is going crazy. Yeah.
Okay.
What I hear you saying is we're not selling anything. We're just being sincere and having conversations and just be real. Just one question I have with that is sometimes the people that are in our tribe, the people that we vibe with, they end up being people that we do want to be friends with, or we cool with them. So sometimes there's this feeling of they're not buying anything, or they're not. I think you know what I'm saying. So how do you keep it professional? And I'm talking about whether it's a male or a female, where it's like they're not like here, like they got problems where you could fix, and because you know you're vibing with them, you want to give it to them for free, but at the same time the goal was to sell. So how do you stay on path for people that are not ready to buy and maybe don't even have the money, but you do you feel them, you're like, hey, this is someone cool.
Let them hang out. They need a place to hang out with you before, during,
Okay,
and
I
after
like
that
that.
purchase, right? So, and this is, I'm not gonna say uniquely a Black person thing, but it is especially a Black person thing. Not on the part that they don't buy or they don't have the money. It's literally because we just like to connect with each other. We're humanity. It's just in our DNA. Like, it's a thing. We want to be at the cookout. We want to come to the party. We want to be at the backyard thing, barbecue. We just want to be hanging out with people who are vibing, right? Whereas in other cultures, it's not, again, it's not because we don't buy, it's just in their DNA. Oh, Bob is a lawyer, and they're ready, they come ready to pay. We don't come with that
Yes, yes,
wiring, you know what I mean? And it's fine, but you just have to keep the in your mind, you know what you're looking for. And the other thing that's also Black people, they respond to celebrity. You can have the same thing that if somebody else has, exact same thing, but they know
yes,
you, but this other
yes.
one is like famous. They're gonna buy it from this person and expect you to give it to them for free. I'm just telling you, that's how it is, that's how they are. It's fine. So the way we
It
solve for
is
that.
weird. The people that
Mm-hmm,
have the money, they don't expect them to pay anything.
mm-hmm.
But the people that don't have the money, we want all the money from them.
Yeah.
So it is an odd thing.
Yeah. So you just create community because you can use that energy. In other words, nobody wants to go to a restaurant where there are no cars in the parking lot. So you could use that
Mm,
energy, like, hey guys, I want to be to such and such. Let them pull up. So now there's energy in the room.
that is so true. That is so true.
And leverage that, right, for people who don't know you, because people who don't know you won't have that same familiarity thing, and they will pay you for your value.
So something else that happens sometimes is somebody is really excited about the product, the service, and sometimes they'll even start. They've invested in something, and then all of a sudden they start ghosting me, and I'm wondering, okay, what did I do wrong? How were they so enthusiastic and ready to give it all, and all of a sudden now they're just not there?
You
That's
said they
something.
bought something and then disappeared.
Like they'll buy some, it's like, so they'll buy something,
Mm-hmm,
something like very basic level,
mm-hmm.
you know. However, what they're needing is more. So I'm trying to upsell them because what they're paying for is not going to give them the results they're looking for. It's very introductory.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's my fault too, because I should make the introductory more appealing.
Well, it depends. I think we want to diagnose that depending on what it is that you're offering, but definitely everybody's going to meet you where they are. I don't know about the ghosting part. Like I said, we can diagnose that, but having something that's low ticket is a good thing. That's actually
Yes,
what I'm
yes,
about to
for sure.
suggest for everybody. So as people are going through these different steps and stages, they're kind of getting to know you. There's getting something free that they saw online or whatever. They go through a little webinar. They might or might not be ready to make a bigger purchase, depending on how they met you. So you can have something that's very inexpensive, anything from $27. Why do they do the sevens? If y'all don't know, that's like a marketing thing that somebody said that,
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
somebody said. Just like when we were growing up as kids, everything was $19.99
Yes,
instead
yes,
of
yes.
$20.
Mhm.
I'm one of these people. I'm just gonna be like, it's $20. But the reason why they do that is psychologically they feel like it's less money than saying $30 or whatever. So they say 27. Um, but anyway, there's a lot of neuroscience behind that. I don't get into that, but something that's low price, $25, $10, $20 versus something that's, let's say no more than 150, $200 would be considered a low ticket item.
Beautiful.
And whether that's a digital product, a course, a couple of videos, a couple of modules, a bundle of templates, something that is self-serve. Okay, so it's the low price point, but also self-serve. Nothing that you
Okay.
got to come
Okay.
in and do. All right. And so that
Okay.
helps people who might want to try it out before they buy it. They just want a little information and that's it. They just want to test, kick tires. Okay, cool. They're budget conscious. They're early in the journey. Have something for those people too. Like, it's like, I like what you're talking about, but I can't convince my husband to put $1,500 on our credit card right now. But I could buy this book though. You know what I mean? Like, you want to have something that just meets people right there. Cause
So
I call it almost free money. Go ahead.
in communication with people, because there's so many ways that people communicate nowadays. I know there's like people that feel like, okay, if I started texting you, then we stay on text. Like people feel like disrespected if you call them and they were. So I guess I'm asking, where do you meet them where they're at? Like I'm more of a phone person. I'm like, I'm just more of a phone person.
Yes.
But I don't know if that's attractive to a younger audience.
Don't call me, child. Do not do that. If we don't have a call scheduled and you call me, I will be like, and I'm gonna go head on about my day. So yes, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. So that's why I'm talking the way I am, because we want to build this ecosystem, this world, this neighborhood, if you will, that meets people where they are. Some people want to hang at the corner store. Some people want to come by the house and sit on the front porch. Some people want to be at the park. Like, we need to have all these places where they can come, because however they want to be engaged, we want to be there too. So email for some people, DMs or text for some people, and like these little low ticket offers for some people, and so forth and so on. Yeah.
What's a good number of things to give a new person when it comes to transformation, so they're not overwhelmed? Because I notice with you, with calls, you listen a lot. Like before you will say anything, you're like locked into what I'm saying. I hear you just let me keep going on, and then you ask some key questions, and then you'll come in and give your diagnosis and do what you do. I feel like sometimes I'm a little overwhelming because sometimes I know exactly like, okay, this is what's gonna work. And it's like, I think it's a lot. What would you say if there is a number of things like, okay, give them 2 prescriptions or give them 1 prescription every 2 weeks? Like, where do we feel like it's value, or where do we feel like, okay, they could have just gotten this somewhere else? Is this enough value? Because I'm always worried, am I giving enough?
We need to diagnose that. We need to do the specifics on that one and find that for you, because it needs to be, basically it should be a part of your framework, a part of something that they are not getting somewhere else, or a unique way that you address it that other people don't, is what they should be getting a little taste test of.
All right. Yeah. And do you always start with what they like? Like, I'll give you a small example. Breathing practices. Breathing practices give a lot of results, and everybody has access to doing it. But people find it quite boring, to some degree. Would I meet them? Most people come to yoga for asanas, for the actual movement, the poses. And that's not saying I don't do that. I do a lot of that. But I want to know, do you give them what they want in the beginning or what they need?
Yes.
Which one?
We need both. We need both. Because you got to meet them where they think they need to be. And then you're guiding them where they actually need to be. So it has to have a mix of both. So in other words, if I start a store and I'm supposed to be giving vegan food, like in the mall, there's like one, the mall is empty. I don't know how they're still open, but in the food court, they got a vegan thing. And you go there and they're giving out the samples and they're like, whatever they call it, nuggets or whatever. And you eat it and it's amazing. You're like, oh my God, but it's actually like cauliflower or something. You know what I'm saying? So it tastes amazing. It tastes like Chinese food, but it's what I quote unquote need, if that makes sense. You have to do both. But so you're guiding them somewhere. So if everybody I talk to thinks they need to get ready for a pitch competition because they think that check is going to change everything, and child, can you get me ready? I got to go next weekend. They have urgency around that. So I'm gonna be like, okay, come on, let's do a session, child.
And momentum.
I'm gonna get right, and I'm gonna get ready for your pitch competition. But by the time they finish talking to me, they're gonna know like it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you win this pitch competition or not. You take this 5-star pitch we just did right here and come on down this process and do a whole 5-star reboot of your whole business, and you're gonna get what you need. So they might never call me again, but if they know that there's more beyond that they need from me.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So these are great questions. We want to make sure we have something where we can kind of get paid along the journey that people are taking. So this offer ladder, a low ticket item that doesn't require a lot from you, something that they can download or kind of experience on their own on demand. Mid-ticket, more expensive. So you do a group program, a membership, or even like the annual price point. And like when you do a subscription online, they always have like 3 options. It's the same thing. You want to have 3 options for people to be able to buy something quickly from you, buy something that's a little bit more expensive, and then buy like whatever the top tier piece of that is. So there's so many ways that you can do this. Like I said, if you have a subscription, they could pay monthly, they could pay annual, then they could do a VIP. If you have like a $1,500 thing where you're doing some kind of coaching or something that costs, that much, $500 or more, then you might have a $27 thing, a $200 thing, and a $500 thing. But group memberships, courses, communities, access, direct help, weekly Q&A. So think like group stuff. Still not one-on-one. Like I feel like they should have to pay to have access to your time one-on-one, but that would be more like a high ticket consulting or done for you service, full implementation and support, custom solutions, weekly calls, stuff like that. People who are ready to invest for maximum results. And it's Patrice. Hey Patrice, what's up, girl? Glad you're here on the stream. You need all 3 though, because you're able to meet people where they are. So let's say you have 100, and I want to make sure I get all 3, and then we'll be off at 3:30. And then I see your question, Tracy. Let's say you have 100 leads per month. Like somebody saw a video, somebody saw some content, somebody raised their hands, some kind of way they came into your world. If you only have the signature product, it's like, okay, get on a discovery call and pay me $10,000. And then, or $5,000. 3 people buy from you. You made 15,000. 97 people though, out of those 100 are like, I'm not ready, that's too expensive, so they don't buy anything. Versus if you have all 3 tiers, only 3 people buy the $5,000 thing, but 8 people buy like a $900 thing or $1,000 thing, and then 15 people buy a $100 thing. Your total for that month is like $25,000 versus say the 10 or 15 you would have made if you only had those 3 people coming in. So same leads, you got 63% more revenue because you have more options. So a lot of people, the way to increase the revenue in your business is just to have more options for people to meet you where they are instead of just trying to keep selling them one thing. It's like a restaurant. I only know 2 restaurants that have done this halfway successfully, as Raising Cane's and Guthrie's, which is like the same thing. They sell chicken fingers, crinkle fries, and whatever Coca-Cola product you want with the little orange peach sauce. That's it. There's nothing else on the menu. There's no variation. It's not like spicy. It's literally that. Most businesses are not going to make it if that was all the options, right? You need more options. So when you expand your options, it's the same work for you, because like your on-demand products or you jumping on a Zoom for your group coaching once a week, it's not going to take anything out of you. Your messaging is all the same in terms of your content that you're posting everywhere. So they have all these pathways back to you, but you're increasing your revenue by anywhere from 40 to 65%. So if you need money right now today, I would say get you a tier one product. That's a low ticket, something that's kind of a no-brainer for people where they could just buy it. Just buy it. And something that's fast for you to create. You can put it on demand. And now we can focus on the content that we've been talking about for the last few days and start to bring more people in. Bring more people in because they'll just be like, oh, it's only $27. Boop, they'll buy it. That'll get you some money flowing right now. But ultimately, over the long term, you want to build something that has all three tiers because you can make more money with fewer clients, have more impact, instead of them just getting a little taste of something and walking away. Like if you can get that over time. So if you have the ultimate time and you got you're ready to do this the right way, you want to build out your signature piece, like the umbrella, and then take pieces of that whole framework, and then chunk it down and sell pieces, smaller pieces, and that's what your lower tier products are. So it should be leading you somewhere. Ultimately, that's what makes sense. And if you build it and encode it into what you're offering them, you don't have to worry about them wanting the next thing. They're going to want the next thing because you gave them enough understanding of what they're doing so that they want to take another step with you. The last piece of this engine that everybody needs. So, an engine has a starter, it has the pistons, it has, I don't know, the radiator and all the stuff going on. You need all these things going in your business. Transmission, the accelerator, da. This is the last piece. You need the Afro method with the 5-star pitch, which includes the 5-star pitch, right? The email sequence that we went over in detail today. We need a way to show up and deal with DMs directly, talking to people that we're meeting on these social platforms. We need our offer this price ladder that we just came up with now. And then the fourth thing we need is, well, this is the fifth thing, but the fourth thing for today. This is our sales process. So let's say we got somebody to the point where they want to get on the phone with us and actually have a conversation about possibly doing this thing with us. This is for your high ticket, mid ticket to high ticket offers. You probably are going to need a sales call for that, but not necessarily, but probably. So the first thing you would do is have some real rapport to activate their mirror neurons, make them feel safe. So it's like, thank you so much for jumping on the call. Before we get into it, tell me about you. What do you do? Where you based? All that. What's going on? Like all that. Let them talk, do the thing. And that's neuroscience. It's just going to make them feel like they want to feel instead of you immediately making them feel on the defensive or whatever. Next, you want to get into what they call discovery. I don't like the word discovery call, but that's where you would make sure you understand their problem enough to be able to really respond to it. So what's going on right now? What made you book the call? Let them articulate their problem. You're listening for the pain points. Again, this is just the Afro method. How long has this been an issue? Understand their timeline, their sense of urgency. What have you tried before? Learn what hasn't worked. Position your offer. Make sure you remember, so you could say what's different about what you have going on. These are the same questions in the Afro method, y'all. What happens if this doesn't get solved? That activates the pain point. Their amygdala starts firing, and it makes the status quo kind of unacceptable. Like they want to do something different. So it's like, here's another question you can ask. If we're sitting here 90 days from now, celebrating because you've gotten a really great outcome, tell me what that looks like for you. Help them visualize that success and give you all that language. Okay. You're listening significantly more than you're talking. When people are listened to, they feel seen, heard, understood, cared for, valued, their brain relaxes. This is how you build trust. It releases oxytocin. I'm just telling you, it's not about selling anything. It's about being a good human and a good listener. So once you do that, now you can transition into, okay, based on what you're telling me, I think I might be able to help. Let me tell you how to approach this. If I was you, let me tell you. When they say yes, then you tell them. You show them the path from where they are to where they want to be based on, your framework and how it works. And this is what we would do. Phase 1 like this, time frame, boom. Specific outcome that they would get, that they told you that they want. Then phase 2, This is what we do. This is how long it takes. And this will get you this part of the outcome that you said you wanted. And then phase 3, this is what we do. This is how long it takes. And they get this specific outcome that you just told me that you wanted. So in the conversation that gets them started with you in the first place, if there's a sales call, you are already telling them why they need the whole thing. They don't just need a piece of it, they need the whole thing. And this is how it works, how it works together, blah, blah, blah. So by the end, you're going to get this exact result that they said they wanted when you first asked them what they wanted. Okay. Because they didn't call you asking you for whatever it is you sell. They want what they said they wanted. So you show them how what you have will get them what they want. So that's what they actually need, what you're giving them, and what they want, what they told you they want. You give them both. It's like, if we decide to work together, here's how, if they're reflecting back to you, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Then you say, this is how we work together. You explain the process, how much support they're going to get, all of that. And the price is boom. Does that make sense? So you're speaking in terms of their outcome, not your process. You state the price clearly. And you pause. The price is this. Does that make sense? Stop talking. Then let them say what they need to say. Let them say what they need to say. Go through whatever they need to go through. They're either going to be like, absolutely, sign me up, let's go. Or they're going to say, if they say yes, you're like, okay, great, I'm ready to work with you. Here's what happens. Give them the payment process, onboarding, start date, any questions, get the payment, you're done. That's it. If they're like, well, I don't know, that's code for I have an objection. Like if they say, I need to think about it, that's code for I have an objection that I'm not stating. So you just be like, I totally get that. Tell me specifically what you need to think about. Is it the investment? Is it the timing? Or is it something else? So that they feel like they need to tell you exactly what it is they're hesitating about. Be quiet and let them tell you the objection. If they tell you a specific objection, oh, this sounds kind of pricey. Oh, I can't afford it. Well, help me understand. If you could find a way to make this investment work, would you want to move forward? How, what price range were you considering? What have you tried in the past? Something to that effect. Just let them talk more. Okay. If they say, if you say, if I could make this investment work, would you be ready to move forward? They say yes. Then you give them a payment plan. If they say no, then that's not the real objection. If they're like, oh, I need to talk to my spouse and all of that, it's like, okay, that's cool. What do you think their main objection or concern might be when you talk to them? So you can go ahead and address it now. If they're like, I'm not sure about this, what makes you unsure? Is it you need something specific to address? You can't just be like, I'm not sure. You're not trying to convince them of anything. You just want to have a real conversation. And if they can identify that, maybe you can address it with a testimonial or some proof from past people you've worked with, or even a guarantee if you have one. If they're still not ready, it's fine. It's wonderful, beautiful. You're on the list. I got some resources for you, and we can reconnect. If they want to do a reconnect in 30, 60 days, if not, it's fine, and you're moving on. Because some people say no now, they might become clients later. If you're talking like this on this frequency, you should be closing like 30 to 50% of these calls. And if you're not, we need to go back and fix your Afro method and your 5-star pitch. Okay, so any questions? Go ahead, Tracy.
Okay, this gets better and better. I think I lose a lot of sales just by kind of giving up too early, or when they have objections or they're not ready to buy right away, I kind of clinch and I'm like, oh God, this is so embarrassing, or I did it again, or whatever. And what you're just saying is we're having a conversation like two humans, like how I would want someone to talk to me if I wanted to make a purchase or believe in something. It doesn't even have to be a lot of money, because even without even $1, it's still, you're asking for my time and commitment to do something, So I get that. My question was about reoccurring payments. What's the best way as a new entrepreneur to accept reoccurring payments? Because that's another place I feel like I lose people once the month ends. Then it's like there's not a place like I have to go back and ask them to reinvest, which I can't stand because it should be automated.
Yes. Do you have Stripe?
I have Stripe. I haven't used it in a while, but I do have an account with Stripe.
Yeah. Stripe or any platform like that that allows you, yeah, just set up monthly. You could do it in school or whatever, but have them to register through a platform that when they sign up is already on there. The monthly thing is already on there. Gumroad, any platform that allows you to do that. That's
Would
what
you
you do.
recommend doing that through Cash App or Zelle?
No. Well, you can't
Okay.
automate it, first of all, on those platforms. So
Okay, because I
that
feel
will
like Zelle sometimes will ask that question. I don't know about Cash App, but I know Zelle will ask.
Zelle, maybe. I'm thinking Venmo. Zelle, I think you can do a recurrent, but that's more like for bill pay. I don't know. You have to check on
I
that.
know it is for bill pay. It is for bill pay.
Yeah, no, they kind of don't like that. They get weird about stuff like that.
Yeah, they do. They do.
So yeah,
So do it on something more legit,
hmm
and
it's
that will
not that it's
cost.
not legit, but yeah, they something that's designed for that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
absolutely. And I think this is going to require, like I said, for all of us, to elevate. It's not just like, okay, let me make this sale right quick. It's more like, let me create the environment where they can see exactly what the value is here and walk them through and make sure they know and I know that this what I'm offering is really actually what is going to be valuable for them in the transformation that they're seeking or whatever that is. And let me create an environment where we both come to that understanding, and then it's like, okay, this makes sense. Yes, you're down, I'm down. Like, it's a relationship. Business is just relationships with numbers. The reason why we got all this hustle and grind and weirdness around making sales um is because of capitalism. I'm gonna say that, but like, it's because they made money something that's external to your humanity. So you're sitting there trying to talk to another human and not speak to their humanity and trying to get them to take money out of their pocket. And that's weird, you know what I mean? And that's almost dehumanizing. So people are on the defensive because they know you're trying to get in their pocket, and they're like, and all of that. Versus if you show up knowing your value, you've sat down, you've done the work, you're practicing your big five every day. You know you have value. You know you could change your whole life and family tree if they spend some time with you. Then you're detached from the outcome. You're not looking, you ain't worried about what's in their pocket. You're looking at the human, and you're like, okay, you got time to talk? Let's talk. I want to talk. Like, for real. For real. I want to talk. You want to talk? You're present in the moment. They're actually talking and opening up to you. And you're like, I understand that. I never heard it said that way. Oh, most of my clients are going to do that. Like, it's a real conversation. And then you're like, yeah. So, based on that, you know what I think? This is what I recommend. Honestly, I don't do business plan. Like, you can tell them this ain't for you. This is not for you. Da da da. But I'm gonna let you know this is what you would do. If I were writing a business plan, since you're set on writing a business plan, this is what I would do. Boom, 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 boom. Here's a resource for you. God bless you. Go ahead on. You want to be on my email list, still cool. And then you leave the meeting. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and just sell you anything because I'm trying to make $1 today. I don't do business plans. I don't believe in that. I don't think that's the first thing you need to do. That's ridiculous. Sorry, but that's how I feel. So I'm not doing that, and I'm not gonna take your money for that. Versus, based on what you're saying, listen, I hear you. Like, you want to, be on stages, and you want to da da da. But you know how you get there? First thing they ask you when you want to be a public speaker, you know how I learned this from Tony Robbins. He says, "What's your signature talk?" Until you can answer that, it's going to be hard for you to go charge $15,000 to go speak on public stages. So let's build a plan to get you there. In order to get there, so you can get all these corporate clients that you say you want, we need to bag up. Or as my friends from the SWAT said, bag that. The first thing you need to do is nail your 5-star pitch. You don't know what your worldview is. So because of that, you can't sit up there and stand on a stage and riff and talk about it. You want to do a TED talk, but you don't know what your big idea is. So let's start there. I have a process. It's going to take you through a whole 5-star reboot. This whole kind of vague idea in your mind, this is going to actually get you the clarity that you need and help you to hold the capacity, hold the energy, show up as that version of you. You can close more deals and make more money. Does that sound like something you need? This is how it works. And I go through the process, 90 days, whatever that is, da 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 da. Or you get all the stuff, you go in there and do it on your own pace, your own time. Call me once a week. Within 90 days, you should be having at least 3 to 5 sessions with me, and you should be off and running. How's that sound? This is the price. What we thinking? What we doing? Like that's it. That's all it is. It's a real conversation, and then just so happens, oh, we might actually can rock. Okay, well, if you want, I mean, you want what you want to do. Okay, let's do it. Like that's it. And then everybody's happy, and you go head on. That's all we're doing. That's what sales is. It's nothing more than that. So let us not be weird with humans. Let us not be strange and acting all weird. Let's just not do that. Let's just plant seeds of greatness everywhere we go and breathe life into every room that we walk into. Be the light. You know what I'm saying? And shine said light and let people come on and get what they need. Yeah, I'm a tree planted by the river. You need some shade. I got you. Like, what are we doing? Like, it's not that difficult. So we have to do our big five every day. Every day. Every day. We're practicing our pitch. We're really flowing through this Afro method so that we're great at this. We are activating this circle of trust, this inner circle of people who we can reach out to. And now we can do text, phone calls, setting up Zooms, and these DM conversations because we talked about how to do that. We're broadcasting our brilliance. That means putting more touch points out there, more times and ways for people to encounter our brilliance. And now we have a call to action in there. We want to make sure that we're inviting people to a lead magnet or a next step in our captions on all of our posts now. And then we still come back and document all the results of that. And you should be able to track some conversions now. You should be able to go through some sales conversations and actually make some conversions. So this week, we need to be writing our 7 email sequence, setting up some kind of email automation. I can even help you do that without paying for it. It's just like you got to connect 2 or 3 things together. But these things are not super expensive. So why not set it up? Create your and you know, chat. This is where Claude Bougie GPT come in. Your bougie email. I mean, your bougie can help you write these 7 email sequences based on the notes from today. Then you set up your email automation. You create templates for DMs. You don't have to like rewrite a whole one every time. You have a template, you plug in the personal details, identify 10 people, and get ready to send those out. We could define this offer ladder, script our sales call, kind of have a framework and start to practice that. By this weekend, if you did one of those things a day, by this weekend, you're ready to start your conversations. Sending DMs out to people on socials. Start there. You should be booking some calls. If you have 0 calls on your calendar right now, 7 days from now, you should start to book some calls. So this email sequence, all of this will be in the school tonight. It's Monday. Yep, it'll be in the school the 25th, the 26th. I mean, uh, 7 emails, really 6. Seventh is optional. And how to implement it, different ideas for how to implement it. A system, or at least a framework of how to think about using DMs. This offer ladder, this price ladder. So you have more than one thing to sell somebody, different price points. And a sales process, if and when you need to sit down with somebody to talk to them, whether that's to try to sell them your signature offer, whether that's working with somebody to become a partner of theirs or to try to get them to partner with you. It's almost like you can interview, air quote, interview people to potentially, you know, add your product or service to their platform and take it to their community. You would go through the same process. So having that ready, knowing what you're going to say, having a really clear presentation that doesn't feel salesy, and starting to practice that every day. You should be ready to implement this system and hit the ground running by this weekend. So I just told you how to make some money, how to build an engine that takes all this quantum energy. I know I can do it. Oh my God. And now we're anchoring it in actions, coordinated actions in this 3D realm that are already, the coordinates are already there to have you meet humans where they are. In the consciousness, you're meeting them right there. We don't know where they are physically, but energetically, they're already there. They're already thinking about what you talked about. And you're going to find them. You're going to find them. And the system is going to do the work for you. Whew. if somebody actually does all of this that I just said, you're gonna be telling me, "Oh my God, no! It's I made this much money." Like I know it. This is what I know for sure. So anybody have any comments, questions, thoughts, challenges, concerns, feedback, or personal story time? Thank y'all for watching on the stream and for watching the playback. If y'all do, you can still put comments because people are watching those. Who do? Okay, great. We got off early today. So if all hearts and minds are clear, I will be back same that channel and that station on tomorrow. I only say that not to be whatever, but somebody literally when they need to call me instead of going on Better Call Dog, what they do is they put a bat signal in my WhatsApp DM, which is actually ridiculous, but it's hilarious. So anyway, tomorrow I'll just be more in your business. You know that we got so many more days together, y'all. We gonna make so much money. This is what I'm saying. I'm committed to making sure that you go through this transformation step by step by step by step. Every single piece you need to build. Because again, if you go through this process and then 2 months from now you're like, you know what? I don't even want to do this business no more. I want to do a totally different business. Guess what? This same system is going to work. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter if you pivot. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You can train your team this way. So they don't come in and wreck your business. You hire somebody, you go through all of this, and then they come in and wreck your business. This doesn't have to be your story. You can make money perpetually. If you got to move to another country, start, oh my God, I got to start all the way over. Or you go buy a business. Let's say you buy a business because they had, customers or they had brand recognition or something, but all their systems were from 1965. We were this close to buying a business this past year. We might still do it. I don't know. But the owner was retiring after 40 years and they didn't know what they were doing, but they had distribution. We would have to go in there and fix everything. If you got to start from scratch, I'm telling you exactly, like literally, like it's like working on a car and all every little screw, every little thing you got to get in there and do. That's what I'm telling you how to do. So that's why it takes me 100 days. That's why I talk so much, but the value is priceless. So thank y'all for being here. And until the next one, I gotta go. So